Boise State taking on UTEP, non-conference matchup here, but we do have a Mountain West team involved. Boise State, 16-point road favorites, 46 being the total in this game. And, I've been disappointed in UTEP, very much so. They get trounced by Oklahoma, which is no shock, but you get trounced by North Texas, and I thought UTEP was actually the better team going into that game. They lose by 18. They played a horrible New Mexico State team. They win by 7, barely squeak out the straight up win. They don't even sniff a point spread cover. They were laying 17 in that game. They get outgained by 6 yards, actually, by that New Mexico State team, even though they won the game. And then last week against the Lobos, New Mexico, 27-10. And a rough showing again for this offense. Like, I know they lost a couple good receivers, but it's clearly impacted Gavin Hardison way more than I thought, because his quarterback play has been nowhere. It's not even average. 49% completion, sub 50% completion rate, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. The run game hasn't gotten going. I had high hopes for Ronald Awatt, the running back. He hasn't been able to get on track for this UTEP team this year. And now you got to play this Boise State defense that, struggled against Oregon State first game, but kind of turned it around since then against UT Martin and New Mexico. It's tough because, Boise State's kind of been overvalued. They're really 0-2-1 against the spread. They pushed as a big favorite in this price range against New Mexico, winning 31-14. They got blown out by Oregon State. They didn't cover last week against Tennessee Martin at home. And I'm still leery about laying points with Hank Bachmeier. I have to say it. I mean, his quarterback play has been spotty. It's been up and down. It's not the kind of quarterback play I say, let's lay 16 on the road. You know what I mean? So it probably is going to have me off this game. I don't think UTEP's anywhere close to good enough that I can trust this offense to do anything against Boise. It's been that rough for them. But at the same time, Bachmeier's erratic play, can I say, let's lay 16 with that on the road? No. So it's probably going to be a pass. What do you think here, Connor?
Yeah, what had happened with this UTEP team? I mean, I don't think they lost that much. You mentioned the 2 receivers, but I thought the defense would be all right, at least the front 7. Man, they look horrible. You talk about barely beating New Mexico State and then getting their ass whipped by New Mexico. Man, they are in trouble. And Hardison's just been horrible, especially this last game. 3 picks. I mean, game before that, no touchdown and a pick. He just hasn't looked good at all. This team, I remember last year, Boise at home, because I went back on this game last night. They won 54-13. But there's nothing in Boise that I really want to jump to. I mean, I think in this matchup, this is Boise or pass. I just am not – they haven't looked great so far to start the year. You mentioned Bachmeier. They might go back and forth with the QB. They still, I think, have the better defense. It's just the travel. Difficult one here. Maybe this is a team total with Boise to be safe with the points. I mean, UTEP defense has just not looked good. I mean, they gave up 23 to just or more, to New Mexico State. They won 12 to New Mexico State the week before. Anyways, UTEP's horrible. I want no part of them this week. I want no part of them until they maybe can turn things around, maybe in conference play.
Player prop for this game. I'll give you that because I probably won't bet the side or the total in this game. I'll lean under a little bit, but here's a player prop that I like. And I think it's time for it's a great opponent, great matchup, I think, for him to get rolling on the ground. And that's George Holani, the running back here for Boise State. He's been kind of, underwhelming at times this year with the run game. It's been good at he's only averaging 3.3 yards per carry this year. 186 rushing yards, 3 games, 3.3 yards per carry. This should be a better run game than that for Boise. We expected this team to have success running the football, but now they welcome a UTEP defense that's been horrible stopping the run. Awful. That's why New Mexico did so well last week. New Mexico is a run-first offense, and UTEP was powerless to stop it. So no wonder, New Mexico did so well. And UTEP's given up 203 rushing yards per game. That's 116th in the country against the run. So terrible. So there will be player props for this game. There's usually are when they're talking about, these Mountain West games. You usually do see player props. And if you see George Alani over rushing yards, it's definitely something I'm interested in for Friday night between these 2 teams.